Dude, I'm not being funny, but when I talk about using websites for gear, I'm not talking about when a vendor sells it on it, right? Like I have a few that I actually use a website for, whatever, that is fine. The problem is a Google search going steroids, UK testosterone buy. Googling these things and clicking on some random site that appears, assuming whatever's going on is legit and placing an order. That is the problem. And that, if you think about it, is what the guy was describing. Not using a website, that's fine, inherently is fine. The problem is how he got there, right? How he got to the store. Following that, the whole stuff about Aromasin every other day, low dose. The problem there wasn't taking it and wondering why the E2 was crashed. The problem was I was previously taking HCG, which has very, very high testicular aromatization, and I was on a pretty high dose. Now I started Aromasin for that, did a little bit of it, and that would have been fine for the dose I was doing of HCG, but I stopped taking that. And so that's when the E2 crashed. That being said, I had 3 days where there was a little tiny bit of joint pain and I was a little bit low, and maybe a week or two where I felt a bit lower than usual and the motivation and drive wasn't as high. So, wasn't really the end of the world. Mistakes are bound to happen. I don't think I'm perfect. If I kept all my mistakes out of this, it would really not make much sense. Like, I'm here to document the story, tell people stuff, and if I do make a mistake, help people learn from them. But all in all, the story I was telling about this guy I met was clearly a different picture to someone who maybe is a bit educated, trying to navigate things, making a mistake or two along the way, and then someone who has absolutely no idea what he's saying, putting out genuine misinformation in a gym, and not being very well versed in how to have some level of quality control.